Today's video is going to be troubleshooting a problem with my little chainsaw here. This has been a great saw for several years. I've built a number of structures with it. It has over-delivered at almost every step of the way. But recently it is cutting out. The battery is good, and pull the trigger and it cuts out after about a second. So here we have a battery, 4 bars, it's fully charged. And now it's dead. It ran for 1 second and now there's nothing left. So the battery is good. It's some issue with the saw. So what I'm going to try to do here is open this thing up and have a look inside, see what we can find. Looks like Torx. Okay, they're Torx 15. Looks like. That's 3 more. One thing about this saw is it's always leaking oil. To get this little chain bar off. Or is that a Torx? Oh, maybe it is a Torx. Yeah, okay. There's something in the middle of that nut which sticks up and prevents the bit from getting in there. I guess that's a safety device. So the user doesn't remove the safety brake. So it's important to know that on this cheap little saw, the safety brake is pretend. It's just a piece of plastic bolted on here. It doesn't actually stop the chain. So I already cut it off here. It used to go up like that. So, you know, the whole thing was a little more compact and would go into a backpack. Well, now, in order to get the 2 halves of the body apart, I have to get this pretend chain brake off. And the Torx nut has got some little, or the Torx bolt thing, has got some little thing in the middle sticking up. So you need a special tool or something. Oh wait, okay, that's got it. Whatever it is, there was still just enough purchase to get that out of there. Let's see if I can weasel the other one out. It's close, but it's not moving yet. Okay, I was able to weasel it out just with the pliers like that. Of course, there's one more Torx way down there, and this ratchet driver is a little too big to get into that space. Oh, do I have to go to the store and buy a T15? Yowie. I suppose there's a chance I could weasel it out of there with a slightly smaller Allen key, possibly a Imperial. I've got these Imperial sized Allen keys which I never use, but could be that one of these is a approximate match for a T15. Oh, look at that. There's one. So there's the T15, and this is there. This would be 7/64 imperial sized hex key. Looks like it'll match the T15 torque. So let's see if we can get that out of there. Oh yeah. As long as the torque isn't needed to be super high, it won't trash the Torque's drive. Some more bolts there buried under the gunk. I guess I'll have to take a break here and clean this mess up a little bit first. Doesn't feel like there's anything unusually wrong with the motor. The battery clips don't appear to be corroded. Yeah. Okay, that clip comes out of there. Okay, now we can expect to troubleshoot this a bit more. I got oil inside this lockout switch not too long ago, a bunch of oil. Now you can see it's all there. And it even got, I can even see oil glistening on that little plunger part of this switch. It looks like the oil may have even gotten inside there. It might be contaminating some kind of a contact in there. Just checking the resistance on the battery terminals. An open circuit if I operate the switch. That seems correct. Getting this little retaining ring off was a bit of a hassle. I don't have the kind of pliers with the two little points to pry it apart, but I was able to get this very thin screwdriver under one edge of it to just get started prying it, and even a bigger screwdriver now to finish it off. There we go. So these little pieces are going to come off. Okay, the last little bit of getting this thing apart was a machine screw right here, which can probably be seen right there. And these gears didn't seem to come out, so I reached in with the screwdriver, you know, the little screwdriver like this, to turn this machine screw. This is probably just totally the wrong way of doing it, but it's how it ended up working. I was able to reach in just past this gear and manipulate the this little machine screw so that it dropped out of that one there, and there's a missing screw on this side. Like, there's no machine screw on that side at all. Maybe it fell out, or I don't know, maybe it was never there. So I couldn't find anything obviously wrong in the very limited amount of testing I could do with the multimeter. but a visual inspection does show a couple of problems. Okay, so inside there on the commutator I can see two distinct scores, I think. And scoring on the commutator, as I read, is generally not a good sign for motors. Alright, in there on that white insulating material, I think that is, you can see a black mark which looks like carbonization. And if I look at another area, another part of that white insulating material, there, more carbonization there, potentially indication of burning. Over on this side, the white material is unblemished. So yeah, on those other two views it looked like there'd been some burning. I managed to find a replacement motor here. This is the older product with the brushed motor. And the Ryobi chainsaw 10 volt or 18 volt 10-inch bar chainsaw is now sold as a brushless DC motor model. This motor is discontinued. I couldn't find it anywhere on the open internet as a replacement part. The one place that appeared to have it was Ryobi's main parts dealer, Gardner Incorporated in Columbus, Ohio. I tried to order it. So the one source that I did find which didn't explicitly say it would not ship to Canada is the official Ryobi parts website, RyobiPowerOrderTree.com. And by searching P546, I found the chainsaw, the Homelight 18 volt chainsaw, and there's a diagram here of all the parts. The motor is right there, it's part number 6. So there it is there. Motor and wiring harness 2239. And so yep, I fired off an order for that. And the website doesn't say they don't ship to Canada. So they took my order, charged my credit card, didn't ship anything, and when I went back to the website, a couple weeks later, the part was no longer showing listed as available. So apparently what happened is the website was out of date. My order triggered an update to the website, which now indicates that the part is not available, but they still charge my credit card. So like I had to, call Visa and get that charge canceled. So this motor comes from a parts tool. There's a local store in the city here which operates as sort of a clearinghouse for refurbished or blemished Ryobi tools. Now, in this case, it's ostensibly a brand new unit, never been used. So I bought the whole tool at 50% off, figuring I can use it as a parts tool. Now, for just the motor alone, obviously that price doesn't make any sense. But I also got, for that price, a new 2 amp hour battery, and for what it's worth, a replacement bar and another chain. So by the time you put it all together, buying a new tool for parts almost makes sense. Anyway, so this is the new motor and Now that I kind of know how to take these things apart a little bit better, I realized you don't have to disassemble the motor from the gear housing. I can leave that intact. So the first thing was going to be to drop this housing back in the... Get the 4 bolts on. And then the switch just drops in on these little posts. Wires. Okay. 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 So that's on there. Just kind of jimmied it on with this thing. I need this little lockout switch. Spring is going to go there. Okay. And this piece goes on. Okay, so this housing is ready to go in. Like that. Wires just drop down those little slots. Terminal thing, like this. And then the top half of the motor housing. Ah, there you go. Get those to start going. That one's snugged up nicely. The ones that are a little farther recessed, I have to weasel with the Allen key. That's a bit too small. That one's good. I just tried this little screwdriver and it actually fits perhaps a sharper way if there's any gunk in the nut head that's obscuring the hexagonal key from getting in there. This was biting. So that's snugged up now. I wasn't getting it with this alone. They may not be torqued to specification. There was a little gasket here that kind of went like that. It's pretty chewed up, but I'll just pull the other one off the parts tool. I think I've got a slight mistake here. The sprocket is on backwards. Okay, typical do-it-yourself mistake. Okay. That's better. Handle. Gotta go on next. And the top part of the handle. So the handle is held on with the 2 longer bolts. So now, let's try to drop this back on there. Okay. Snug up the chain tension a little better. Okay. That tension's okay there. Safety brake, safety guard thing. As noted, it is not actually a chain brake, it's just a piece of plastic that bolts on like this. Looks like I need one in here. Can I get the other one to drop in? Oh, there it goes. Again, I had trouble getting purchase with this. Two more right here. So, the moment of truth has now arrived. It's alive. And who knows how much longer it'll last. It's probably 3 or 4 years old now. I'm on the third chain, and I'm not trashing the chains in the dirt. That's legitimate wear and tear. I could have just junked it, but, you know, in the long run, stuff like this should be repairable. And, you know, the future of the planet and all that requires that we stop junking stuff just because something minor may be broken. This part was listed as $22 US, a very reasonable price for this little electric motor. And if I could have just ordered this unit by itself, you know, that would have been the easiest path forward. But as it turned out, because the whole thing was discontinued, I had to buy a parts tool. That's a plan B, but it's almost as good.